18 years later. Kate jerked awake. She sat upright in bed with the sheets twisted around her left leg. She looked around the room, working to adjust her eyes. The dream, a nightmare really, had happened again. It played out exactly as it always did. She relived the worst moment of her life over and over again. It had been more than 18 years, and it never stopped. Kate untwisted her leg from the sheet, threw back the covers, and planted her feet on the cold hardwoods of her parents' brownstone. Well, her brownstone, as it had been since their deaths. No matter where work had taken her, from the farthest corners of the globe to the bustling streets of New York City, her little slice on Marlborough Street in Boston had always been home. The brownstone was all she had. There had been time in her life for nothing else. Until now. No children and no husband. Kate searched the far recesses of her mind to see if she could even remember the last date she had been on. There had been that one guy in Marrakesh, but spiced mint tea in her hotel room, and frantic groping of two people who had been in the field too long could hardly be called a date. Clothes were hastily shed in a heap on the floor. Body slick with sweat and desperation. Her head slammed into the wall with every thrust. It ended as quickly as it had started. No, she definitely couldn't call that a date. Kate could barely remember his name. John, or Jim, or something as commonly American. He had been CIA, or NSA. She couldn't remember which agency paid him a living. It didn't matter now. It didn't even matter then. On that particular mission, Kate had been summoned to Morocco to profile a bombing suspect and interrogate 3 men from a suspected terror cell. That was her bread and butter. Old-school FBI-style profiling and interrogation. Not the tortuous kind that had played out in black sites after 9/11, but back to old tried-and-true techniques. It had been her specialty. A mix of instinct, forensic linguistics, and psychology her only weapons. The FBI held her leash, but she had been a pawn of many government agencies. In truth, Kate had allowed herself to be farmed out as a mental gun for hire. They all came recruiting after grad school. The daughter of a murdered U.S. ambassador intent on revenge, armed with fluency in multiple languages, a knack for profiling, and an ability to secure confessions from even the most hardened criminals. She had done an internship with the FBI, and her field supervisor had been floored at her technique and skill. It was something she didn't even think twice about. Interrogation was as innate for her as breathing. A mental chess game she rarely lost. She traveled the globe, saw far more than she ever should have in her 38 years, and stockpiled money away. Not that she needed it. The brownstone, one of the few fully intact that hadn't been carved into apartments and condos, was already paid off. The last time a real estate agent came calling, they had slipped her a piece of paper with $25 million written on it. She'd never sell. Her parents had left her a fortune, more money than she could ever spend. It's what afforded her this luxury of a break now. A life reset, so to speak. The FBI had balked at her taking an extended leave, but she threatened to quit. With millions in the bank, she didn't need the government pension. Kate was pretty sure if she went private, they'd all come calling, paying hand over fist in consultant fees. She had the power, and the Bureau knew it. Kate padded down to the first floor and walked the length of the brownstone to the back kitchen. Her stomach rumbled. She needed her staple of oatmeal and coffee. Kate flipped the switch of the coffee maker without even giving it a second look and pulled a bowl from the cabinet. She busied herself making her breakfast. She'd had the kitchen remodeled in late 2016, even though she was rarely home. Kate knew she'd quit soon enough and wanted more modern living. She'd been happy with the choice. The gray shaker cabinets, offset by the mosaic tiled backsplash, felt warm and inviting. It was a nice contrast to the cold hardwood floors. With breakfast ready, Kate sat